Hello Soul Family, welcome to Alchemy Mystic Healing Messages. In this reading, we will be looking into how you can integrate self-awareness into your everyday life and manifestation process. The objective of this reading is to assist you with introspecting on the subconscious thoughts and beliefs that may be blocking you from pursuing and or receiving the abundant life of fulfillment you desire. This is a collective message, so it will not be for any specific zodiac sign. This is also a timeless reading, so whenever this message finds you is when you were meant to receive it. Please utilize your discernment and only take the messages that resonate with you. If you are in need of any additional assistance or support on your spiritual healing and or self-improvement journeys, I am also available for distant Reiki Therapy services. If you would like to learn more about Reiki Therapy, how it may benefit you, and details on the services I provide, all of that information can be found on the channel's community tab. If you stick around to the end of the message, I will let you know how you can receive a free Clear Ground Protect 20-minute distant Reiki therapy session. Alright you guys, let's see what kind of healing messages the universe has for us today. For the Soul Truth message, we have what boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships. Alright. It says to create more healthy boundaries, we must first get in tune with our own needs, desires, and feelings, and believe we are worthy of them. In your relationships, it's essential to know where they end and where you begin. Today's soul action. When we separate our energy from others, we gain clarity about what we really want. Then we stop doing things that no longer align with ourselves. If you are an empath, you can still be compassionate towards others without taking on their stuff. It is safe to trust that you are not here to fix anyone. Today's mantra: I have everything I need within me now, and so do they. Oof. I am worthy of my needs, and I set boundaries based upon what's best for me. Alright, so I feel inclined as an empath who has been able to detach from, I guess I'll explain this a little bit. So there was a point in my life where maybe it has something to do with being intuitive as well, but intuition and being an empath are both coming from water energy. So nonetheless, with this Hangman being here and the Six of Cups, nonetheless, I had this way of discerning people's needs without them having to say anything, right? And it was something that I kind of had to learn in order to survive, and I don't know why this needs to be said. Because of the environment that I grew up in, I had to be attentive to the needs around me. If I wasn't proactively doing things in my environment, it could have led to, say, people lashing out, being angry, them creating an unstable emotional environment, if not anything else, right? And so I learned to anticipate other people's needs, and I took that from my home environment and I took that into a number of other environments, and it wasn't healthy for me because, one, it is a level of fear-based manipulation, even though it's coming from a place of, let's say, trauma. I am still trying to manage other people by anticipating their needs. It started off as me being manipulated, and it ends off, once I take that energy outside of the environment, it becomes me manipulating them, right? So if I am, let's say, in a work environment and my boss has specific needs, it may seem like a good thing that I can anticipate my boss's needs, and there are certain jobs and positions that may require that. But if that is not the case, I may put myself in a position where I'm not allowing my boss to ask for what they need. Because once people ask for what they need, they acknowledge that they are coming to you with this need and you have fulfilled it. If you anticipate the need and do the thing without being asked, it won't really be acknowledged to the same extent, unless that person is very keen on that type of thing, right? So a lot of times, even there are a lot of women who get into, say, romantic relationship dynamics and still carry that same energy where they feel the need to anticipate what the needs of their partner is, what the needs of their children are. And it's like, no, the same way you can figure out what your needs are, and if you can't figure it out, that is also something you may need to work on. Because in being in this energy, I always put other people's needs first and never really had an idea as to what I needed personally. And I'm sorry for making this about me. But the point of the story was, I ended up purchasing garnet, the healing crystal that is called garnet. It is a mostly root chakra crystal. It may also help with your sacral chakra, maybe another chakra, maybe your solar plexus, I can't say. But it is a deep red, not quite the red that is here on this jasper that's to the left of the rose quartz, but it's like a burgundy-ish kind of color, right? Or like a dark pink, I guess, is like a really deep dark pink. Nonetheless, I made a anklet out of it, cleansed the energy off of it, meditated with it to set the intentions of how I needed it to work for me based upon the capacity of what the crystal has the ability to do, right? And in this case, it was very good with setting boundaries, or helping me with setting boundaries. And I didn't know how it was going to work, and for those of us within the collective, within the soul family, who don't really believe in crystals, you can disregard this message altogether. Nonetheless, if you are having an issue in this area, I would definitely say, especially as an empath, to get garnet in some way, fashion, or form. I believe your left side is where energy comes in from. And so if you are wanting to protect yourself from energy coming in, you may want to wear this garnet crystal on your left side, on your left wrist, on your left anklet. I put it on my anklet because it is root chakra. From my toes up to my lower back is my root chakra, right? And so I wanted it to correspond with that energy. And what it did was, I was in an environment, later on in life, where I was having someone still manipulate my energy. It was a home environment, and they were wanting me to anticipate their needs as I have done in the past. And usually I would just automatically take it on, right? Without thinking, without anything at all. I would just take on this energy. And for some reason, I don't know how the garnet did it or shifted it, but it was like it was blocking the other person's projections, because at that point, that is what it felt like this person was projecting what their needs were, right? And so it kind of blocked those messages. So they would look at me like, shouldn't you be doing so and so? And I'm looking like, do you need something, right? Like, it completely helped to clear that energy, and it caused a big rift between me and this individual, but nonetheless, it brought clarity to the situation. And maybe it works best when people are intentionally abusing your empath capacity, right? When they recognize that you are willing to sacrifice your own emotions and needs and desires and prioritize theirs. And I realized and recognized that for me, a lot of it was rooted in somewhat of a savior complex, right? Believing that my capacity was somehow bigger than theirs, right? I had to dig really deep for that one. But it says, I have everything I need within me now, and so do they. And that is very important. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Everyone has the same access to higher energies, divine energies, ancestral energies. And so I cannot provide for someone else something that they cannot provide for themselves. They have to go through their life's mission, right? And so in me being that person and holding that space for other people, it is hindering them from growing, right? It is hindering them from finding a means of tapping into that energy. And this will apply even with our children, with the Six of Cups being here, right? We have to give them the room, even if we want to protect them, we still have to give them the room to grow and develop, because the only way for them to understand how to navigate life is by having space to figure out certain things. Doesn't mean you abandon them. It doesn't mean you don't provide guidance, but you give them room, right? And the younger that they are, and the more that they practice the skill when it comes to less detrimental types of situations, is the easier it will be for them as they get older, right? They may not necessarily like the fact that you are wanting them to do this on their own. But once again, when kids are really, really young, they want to feel as if they have the capacity to do big people things, right? So once again, the younger you allow them to figure this out or find a way to integrate safety into what they are trying to figure out and achieve on their own, the more they will have this capacity as they get older. Nonetheless, I'm sorry for, going off for this long about this, but I felt like that was important, and it definitely corresponded with this self-awareness message. So we have the Hanged One, Pisces energy, the Hierophant, Taurus energy, the Six of Cups, and the Five of Cups are both Scorpio energy. So you may be a Scorpio. Let me get a sip of water really quickly. You may be a water sign or have water in your chart if I haven't already said it. The Hanged One is about you being in a compromising situation. The Hierophant in this particular situation for me is about your beliefs, the beliefs that you are living by, rooted in your need to show up for other individuals more than you need to show up for yourself. Maybe rooted in your lack of worthiness, or an aspect of it may be about you feeling like your love should be performative, is what I'm getting. That you have to do things in order to be loved, maybe rooted in something that you learned or developed when you were growing up, because that was a dynamic maybe within your home. This Hanged One is saying you're needing to get perspective on how you are showing up in the world. You are also needing to get perspective on your thoughts and beliefs and how they are guiding your decisions and what you do, and how they may be preventing you from having your own needs, desires, and feelings tended to. Right? Are you being taken care of? Are you taking care of yourself? Are those with whom you are in partnerships with, are they caring for you? There's something about our childhood here, with this Six of Cups being here. And yeah, King of Swords is at the bottom of the deck before I go ahead and start shuffling. Aquarius energy. There's some truth that you're needing to recognize about, how those relationships may not have served you. It may be a state that you are currently in that you can't quite figure out why you were never able to get what your desires or needs were, or needs met from the people, places, and circumstances that may be attached to your childhood. I'm tired of this damn Ten of Pentacles. The card is bent, and because it's bent when I'm shuffling, it seems to get hitched, and because it it gets hitched, it also gets pulled. But maybe it was supposed to come out. Let's see if the universe has any other cards that it wants to put out there, or if it's going to come back out. Let's see. But yes, I'm getting that when we are in situations that are dissatisfying, it is not solely the other person who is putting us in the situation, the person, place, or circumstance, right? We are participants in this energy. And so getting out of the energy, not out of the place, not out of the circumstance, not out of the relationship dynamic, getting out of the energy requires us to look at ourselves to determine and discern how we are participating in this dynamic. What aspects of us are causing us to continuously attract these types of situations? Because like I said, I left my home environment with these habits and I went into work environments with these habits, and I'm pretty sure I've had friendships and things along those lines where I kept meeting this dissatisfaction or kept getting into the situation where my needs weren't being met, but it had a lot to do with how I was choosing to navigate the situation. So I think it's important that we take the time to reflect with this Hang One energy here, to take time to pause is what I'm getting, right? Because you're already in the compromising situation. You are already in the Hang One energy. You are already being self-sacrificing, right? You are already yielding to maybe the beliefs that have been taught to you, that you have been raised within, that don't seem to serve you with this Five of Cups energy being here. Even the King of Swords being at the bottom of the deck, there needs to be a bit of a head over heart decision that needs to be made. In moving forward, there has to be some logic integrated into this. Yes, you care about people. Yes, you want to do for people. Yes, you want to be there. And a lot of times this energy is motivated by our desire to get this in return. But we don't get this in return by doing it. We get this in return by asking for it. We get this in return by setting the boundaries. We get this in return by being very aware of our own needs, right? If you see someone else's need, you say, okay, I see it. I will wait for them to ask me. And I will prepare myself to assist them to the best of my capacity. But in the meantime, I will focus on myself and my own needs. And even better, this could be an exchange, because even though they may be in a pickle in one particular fashion, it doesn't mean that they cannot reciprocate in a different fashion, right? And so maybe even to say, all right, they come to me with you know, I need $10. And you say, all right, you know, I'm going through this and this situation. I'll give you the $10. And you express what you're going through, right? Maybe you have a burden on your chest that you want to discuss. If they're not willing to show up for you, even better yet, don't even wait until they ask. If you can anticipate that someone has a need, and I don't mean to sound manipulative in any way, fashion, or form, but you have to be able to discern whether or not people are willing to show up for you the same way they expect you or want you to show up for them. Especially if you are an empath who has been in situations that have been manipulating you and taking advantage of your kindness. And so, if I can anticipate your need, and maybe let's say it is a financial need, right? And I am preparing myself to assist you, because that is what I do. As an empath, I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to go to the furthest extent, but I'm going through a personal situation and I need a listening ear. Before you even tell me what you're going through, I'm going to call you and say, hey, you know, this is what I'm going through. It's really been hard. You know, can you give me any guidance on how to move forward, or, you know, any words of encouragement or anything along those lines, right? Or just put the information out there, the heartfelt expression out there, and see how they receive it and respond to it. And if they put up a block against it, that is a sign that is not the person you should be giving to or be in an exchange with, because that is going to be part of your boundaries. And it also protects you from them coming to ask you. Now, some people are bold enough to be like, to deny you of something that they have the capacity to give in that moment, and still turn around and be like, hey, you know I didn't want to listen to your story the other day because I didn't really care, or I don't really want to help you or assist you or guide you or whatever, right? When I have the capacity to do it, but I really need $10. And you're like, oh, nope, I don't have it, right? Match their energy. All right, you guys, I was going to pull some more cards, but I didn't feel inclined to. I feel like a lot of this message had more to do with the oracle card than with the actual tarot. And I was able to give, I believe, a full message based upon that, on how you may need to introspect at this time. Nonetheless, this is what I have for you today. If you resonate with this message, were able to obtain any clarity, or found it to be helpful in any other manner, please like, share, subscribe, and feel free to share your story in the comment section. These expressions of gratitude are not only free for you, but they also allow me to develop a deeper connection to your energy. With this deeper connection, I am able to pull messages that are more aligned with your specific situation. I want to thank you guys for being here, and as promised, I have a quick message letting you know how you can receive a free Clear, Ground, Protect 20-minute distant Reiki therapy session. I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.
If you look in the description box below, the first link is labeled Free Reiki for the Soul Family. When you select it, it will take you to the Alchemy Mystic shop, where you can either obtain the free 20-minute distant Reiki session or purchase one of the 40-minute distant Reiki sessions at a 30% discount. I will be making a total of 11 free sessions available on Tuesday of each week for the next 4 weeks. When checking out, it will ask how much you would like to pay. You may enter $0 or a higher amount if you would like to provide a tip. The Clear Ground Protect 20-minute session works best as a spiritual hygiene practice for anyone obtaining or providing spiritual services, such as private tarot card readings. This is great for empaths who may take on the negative energy of those around them. This is for anyone who works in a toxic environment or an environment that involves high levels of customer interaction that ends up leaving you feeling drained. And last but not least, this is great for anyone struggling with anxiety, depression, feelings of overwhelm, and/or low energy. This service is performed remotely at the date and time that you schedule your appointment. The service can be performed while you are conducting your everyday activities, with the exception of operating a vehicle or any heavy machinery. I look forward to serving you soon.